I love listening to Radio Cornwall because it's fabulous.
Loving where we live.
BBC Radio Cornwall.
Naomi Kennedy sitting in for Debbie for the rest of this week. Now, Jilly Cooper novels. Fair to say they may well have taught readers a thing or two, and a wry smile comes to my face as I say that. About love maybe, or about the realities of relationships, and of course about ponies. Well, would you believe that's the inspiration for one writer here in Cornwall, and that's Ruth Saberton, who I am delighted to say is coming to the studio. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, lovely to be here.
And it was really Jilly's novels that made you think, actually, do you know, I really want to be a writer.
Absolutely. I hope my parents aren't listening, because I'm sure they didn't realise I was reading those when I was about 11 years old. But yeah, the big, thick 80s blockbuster, the vast array of characters, the multiple narratives, the gorgeous heroes like Rupert Campbell-Black, all those things were a great inspiration.
And you have achieved your dream, haven't you, really? Because you are a writer full-time.
I have achieved my dream, and I get to write every day. How lucky am I?
And here in Cornwall.
In beautiful Cornwall.
You have a new book out, which, I mean, I understand is something like your 20th
yeah,
book.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called The Island Legacy. We'll talk about that one in a moment. But how would you describe all the books you've written? Because you've written many for some of the top publishing houses as well, and you're now writing, you know, publishing them yourself. So how have you do you have series, or is every book different?
I do. It's been such a diverse journey, because I did start off with Orion in, I think it was 2010, and I was writing chick lit, so I guess quite influenced by the Bridget Jones style of writing back in those days. And I guess as I've got slightly older, my style's evolved a little bit. My later books are very much set in Cornwall and are family sagas. And I have a series called Poena Bay. And I set that in a very fictional Cornish fishing village. And it follows the lives and loves of the Tremaine family and the siblings.
And are these modern day ones?
These are contemporary romances, family sagas.
Did you find that family saga and chick lit are kind of completely apart? Did you have to change your way of writing?
I think for me it's been quite a natural progression, because the narratives I write tend to be about young women, and young women are interested in many things, including families, relationships, careers. So the young 20-something Bridget Jones heroine, with her career in the city and worrying about boyfriends, has become an older woman perhaps, who has family members to worry about, elderly parents, making her way in the world. So that progression's woven into the books.
And it's very real life, that, isn't it?
It is. It's exploring, I think, the things that are intrinsically important to all of us.
So The Island Legacy, tell me about that.
Well, The Island Legacy came to me because I was doing a lot of boating last year, and I live in Polperro, so I'm very fortunate to have the sea just at the bottom of my road. And my partner and I spent a lot of time out in our boats, and we have Looe Island just off the coast. So we were boating around there, looking at the seals, eating far too many chips, and I started to think about what it would be like to live on that island. And my imagination took hold of the idea. And we did a few trips further down west to St Michael's Mount and further east to Burr Islands. And the island of St Piran took root in my imagination and became the beginning of this book.
Fantastic. And so you can really see how our beautiful coastline is just the best inspiration for you.
Absolutely. I went down there this morning before I came in to talk to you, just to have another look at St Michael's Mount and take some pictures. And it was just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it is such a beautiful place, isn't it?
Everywhere you look, there's inspiration.
Especially on a day like today when we've got a bit of sunshine.
It does make a difference.
And where does this book take you then? What kind of journey will we be on?
Well, this journey follows the journey of the main character, Ness, who inherits an island from an estranged uncle that she has no idea she's related to. And the uncle's a composer. He's a very mysterious character. So she takes the journey to Cornwall and picks up a life there, and starts to meet relatives, people in the town, those people perhaps who have a vested interest in maybe getting their hands on the castle and the island for themselves. And her job is to save the island and to try and preserve it for the town and for her family.
So it's a huge task, not only for her own kind of preservation of herself, her name, her family, but there are a lot of other people leaning on her and relying on her.
Absolutely. And there's a very handsome, very devious developer who'd also like to get his hands on the island and maybe on more than the island. So she has him to contend with too.
Oh, it sounds fabulous. It's on Amazon at the minute. So you've now gone on to kind of ebooks.
I'm published in paperback and in ebook, and I'm about to do the audiobook, which I was planning to narrate myself, but I won't do half as much a good job as you, I'm sure.
So brilliant. So you're employing someone to do the audiobook.
Yeah, we're working on that right now.
Excellent. And do you find that when you're writing, so you're in your home in Polperro and you're writing away, how much do you kind of get lost in your characters?
Oh, hours can go by, absolute hours. And I have to be really careful because sometimes I twist as I'm writing. I might be on the sofa and I've sat like that for 2 hours, so I'm all stiff and achy. Have to do a little bit of a walk up and down the village.
I was trying to work out how many, because you said 20 books in since 2010. Is that right? Yeah. So that's not very long. So we can discount 2017 because we're only just going into it.
I've
so
written one already this year.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Well, I was going to say 6. So 20 books in 6 years, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an enormous amount to just churn
I write
out.
4 to 5 a year.
Do you? So what does that work out in hours then? How long does a book take?
How long does a book take? Well, I've written the latest book in about 5 weeks.
Wow.
So I've just finished that one.
And is that just writing it or is that subbing it and going back and
That's
playing?
the first draft. So
Okay.
that will now go to my editor and my proofreaders who'll work on that and then send it back to me.
And what's that experience like?
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's like a teacher's marked it. And I've been a teacher, so I know when I see something covered in scribbles that it's not good news.
It's brilliant that you're able to do this full time now.
Fantastic.
The right choice?
Yeah, the right choice. It's been a really exciting journey. And now I'm doing my publicity, I'm doing my marketing. I've got independent bookshops stocking it for me. Hopefully some of the bigger chains as well are going to be doing that. And it's a very, very exciting time to be a writer.
Is it? Oh, brilliant.
It
Why
really
do you
is.
say that? Why?
Because I think we've got more autonomy now than we've ever had. We can make decisions. I've got creative control over my books.
Yes, which is ultimately must be the best thing.
Oh, it's fantastic. I've got a beautiful cover for the Island Legacy, and when the cover designer gave it to me, I could decide if I wanted to keep it or not, whereas in the past you almost have to do what you're told. Whereas I've had a really good collaborative process this time.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. So, as we heard, the book, The Island Legacy, out now.
Out now.
Out now. You can get it on Amazon in either paperback form or in ebook form. And also hang tight there because it won't be long before it's there in audiobook as well.
That's right.
And so you've already written one this year.
I've written the Christmas book for 2017. Wow. So I've spent January thinking about Christmas puddings, snow, and that one's set on Bodmin Moor.
Nice, perfect in winter.
Yeah, it's
if
going
you
to be
like
lovely.
to stay there and don't travel off it. But yeah, Bodmin Moor's just sensational. I'm off there tonight to St Neot, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous place.
It's great.
But I like Bodmin Moor in summer as well, when you're travelling along and then there's a pony just grazing at the side, just as you do on the moorland. And I quite like that, when it's just getting to dusk as well. It's just beautiful anytime.
It's great.
Isn't it?
It's great for riding, and I write pony books as well. So
Do you? Fantastic stuff. And that's, I guess, another thing about when you've got your own control, you can then just spread the kind of genres
that's
wide.
it. Yeah, I've just written a charity pony book called Chances, which is going to be supporting the Michael Morpurgo Farms for City Children.
Oh, superb.
Charity.
What a great charity. And also keeping with that writing heritage as well.
Absolutely, and also with my teaching background.
Yes, of course. Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, good luck with what comes next. So you've finished the Christmas book
yeah.
and back to another novel?
I'm on to my next in the Polwenna Bay series, which is called A Recipe for Love.
Excellent.
It's about a celebrity chef.
Oh, exciting stuff. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks
Lovely.
for having me.
You are welcome. Oh, she was nice, wasn't she? Ruth Saberton. That's the name, Ruth Saberton. Remember that name. And An Island Legacy, The Island Legacy. That's the name of her book, out now.